This is Money, Motivation, and Mike, and I am your host, Michael Wainwright, in charge of the show, the auto engineer, Jason Wright. And hello to you, world. This is the show that will change your life. You can contact us at info@mx3.vip and find all of our content at mx3.vip or on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@mx3podcast. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so that Jason can notify you of all of our new content, which comes out every Monday morning around 9 o'clock. Okay, finishing up here, Jason, on the Andy Griffith Show. I've got a couple of different things I want to talk about, but if I don't get on to Andy here, we may never finish up with Andy. And oh, by the way, approaching 72,000 subscribers, Jason, on YouTube, and the numbers of YouTube views year to date, 322,100 views.
Looking pretty.
Is that what people think, that I look pretty? Is that why they're watching the show?
I don't know about that part.
We're trying to turn it into the Andy Griffith Show here, I guess. I don't know. But thank you once again, YouTubers and podcasters. Those numbers are extremely strong as well. They're not as strong as YouTube because I think people like to look at me instead of listen to me. But that's probably a hoax as well. Nevertheless, our numbers are strong, and thank you very much, viewing and listening audience. One of the unique things, well, there's a lot of unique things about the Andy Griffith Show, and I was thinking about this over the last week. I'm going to say, realistically, I have seen every episode at least 50 times. Every episode.
Wow.
The black and whites, the colors. I mean, I watch, when I get up in the morning and I get dressed, I turn on the Andy Griffith Show, the reruns, because I've got them recorded. And it sets my mood for the day, because when you watch good old Mayberry, North Carolina, remember, fictitious town, just nothing seems to be that big of a deal. And in that 30 minutes of that show, they resolve the world's problems. And there's nothing just that big of a deal. So when you go out into the world, you hop into that car and you go out into this rat race of the world that we live in on a regular basis, it kind of puts me in the mood of it's just not that big of a deal. No matter what happens today, you still get to go home at night, 99.99% of the time, and you get to get up and do it again tomorrow. And absolutely, there's trials and tribulations, and the Andy Griffith Show goes through some of those things as well. But at the end of the day, it's just not that big of a deal. And if you put your mind over the matter, you can accomplish whatever it is that you want to do. Now, interesting, Andy Griffith, who became Andy Taylor, he was a comic. I mean, he was on his way to becoming, let's just say, the Johnny Carsons of the world. You know, he was a comedian. And the reason I say that is because if he had continued on, Johnny Carson becomes the star of the Tonight Show there in the early 60s. And, of course, Andy Griffith Show started in 1960. But initially, Griffith played Taylor as a heavy-handed country bumpkin, grinning from ear to ear and speaking in a hesitant, frantic manner. The style recalled that he used to deliver it in his popular monologues, where that really wasn't who Andy Taylor was. But he was the comedian that first year. I wouldn't say that Don Knotts was more of the serious character, but he was definitely more serious than was Andy Griffith. And if you recall, Andy's always serious about being a police officer, even though lots of times it did not work out for him. But, and this is basically a quote from Andy Griffith. One day he said, quote, "My God, I just realized that I'm a straight man. I'm playing straight to all these kooks around me." He didn't like himself in the first year of the reruns when he watched those, because he was the goofy comedian sheriff. Continuing, and in the next season, he changed to become the sophisticated character that he was. Now, what is interesting is if you go back and you think about this and you study these episodes, Andy Griffith was the star of the show, but what he did was really set up and support the rest of the cast. Now, what I mean by that is, and we'll just go over here to the accolades, because Andy Griffith, in essence, started to become the person who resolved everybody's problems and set Don Knotts up like nobody did. And I mean, they were fantastic for each other. But listen to this. 1961. So they were on they were around in 60, and now here we come to 61 with the Emmys. Okay. Outstanding performance in a supporting role by an actor or actress in a series. Guess who won? Don Knotts. Okay. The show was nominated for Outstanding Program Achievement in the Field of Humor. Did not win. The Jack Benny Show won. The Jack Benny Program. In 1962, Outstanding Performance in a Supporting Role by an Actor. Don Knotts won. Outstanding Program Achievement in the Field of Humor. Andy Griffith Show was nominated. The Bob Newhart Show won in 1962. In 63, Outstanding Performance of a Supporting Role by an Actor. Don Knotts won. Show wasn't even nominated for the Program of Achievement in the Field of Humor. Go all the way to, now remember, Don Knotts goes off the show in 65. In 66, Don Knotts was in 2 episodes. Outstanding Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role in a Comedy. Don Knotts for the return of Barney Fife to Mayberry. He was in 2 episodes, and on this particular episode, he still wins supporting role in a comedy. Still wins. 67. All right. I think he was only in 1 episode in 67. He might have been in 2. But outstanding performance by an actor in a supporting role as a comedy. Don Knotts for Barney Comes to Mayberry. Won again. Now, 1967, show was nominated for Outstanding Comedy Series. Nominated. The winner was The Monkees. I was a big Monkees fan, so kind of okay with that. All right. In 67. Now, remember, when this show started, Aunt Bee, played by Frances Baver, she was a star in the 50s and the 40s and 50s, and really was definitely the veteran coming on to this show in 1960. It took her until 1967. Outstanding performance by an actress in a supporting role of a comedy, she won. Now, remember, when this award started in 61, it was the outstanding performance in a supporting role by an actor or actress. They finally split those apart, and Aunt Bee won in 1967. So there you go, like I've been talking about. Here towards the end of the show in 1967, ending in 68, Don Knotts wins actor supporting role, and Frances Baver wins actress supporting role. Andy Griffith was never nominated, never received a nomination. I'm sure his name was in the hat many times. Never received a nomination for an Emmy in any of those 8 years. He supported the rest of the actors and actresses. And they, even though it was his show, he was the glue, he was the foundation. The show was named after him, but all the others around him. Now, think about that as being a leader. And I know that he was a leader off and on. If you've ever listened to Ron Howard talk about what a fatherly figure Andy Griffith was to him, because remember, I'm sure that possibly Ron Howard had a parent or some guardian at the show when they're filming, but he spent a whole lot of time with Andy Griffith and Don Knotts, well, the whole cast, but he spent a whole lot of time with Andy Griffith, especially since he was his on the show father. And if you've ever watched Ron Howard in an interview, Andy Griffith's name always comes up and what an influence he had on him. But my point here is exactly what we've just seen. The other people around Andy Griffith benefited, and Andy Griffith made them better. And at the end of the day, they walked home with the trophies. Now, in 1997, TV Guide released its 100 greatest episodes of all time on any series. Opie the Birdman ranked number 24. That is not one of my favorite episodes. I know exactly which one it is, but Opie the Birdman ranked number 24 on TV Guide's 100 Greatest Episodes in 1997. In 2002, TV Guide ranked the Andy Griffith Show 9th on its list of the best 50 best shows of all time. We need to find out what the other 8 were, Jason. And we'll bring that out on a show here in sometime in the future. Because if Andy Griffith is not in the top 5, now I know I Love Lucy and I know Seinfeld, those that we've talked about on the last episode are going to be right up there as well. But incredible that Andy Griffith would come in at 9th on the top 50. The show had only one sponsor, which was General Foods, with promotional consideration paid for in the form of cars by Ford Motor Company. The police car was a Ford, but the only one that wrote checks was General Foods. That helped out with the show there at the end. And you think about, like, I love the lunch boxes and lunch pails, you know, and I had Evel Knievel and the Brady Bunch and Superman, etc. Very little merchandise was produced for the Andy Griffith Show during its original runs, especially being one of the top hits of the 1960s when those kind of things were pretty popular. One theory for the lack of merchandise is that the show's producers, Griffith in particular, wanted to protect its image as a realistic and thoughtful offering and to keep public's focus on the show itself rather than on its branding. That being said, among the handful of merchandise, there were 2 comic books. And I know a lot about comic books. I have never seen an Andy Griffith Show comic book, but there were 2. Gonna have to look into that as well. There was also a soundtrack, 2 coloring books, and 1966 Grape Nuts cereal box with a photo of Griffith in character as Sheriff Andy Taylor. Also on that box was the lemon pie recipe used on the show. Andy Griffith is from North Carolina, and which is part of why all that was put together. His hometown of Mount Airy, North Carolina, annually hosts a week-long Mayberry Day featuring concerts, parades, and appearance by the show's players. Now, in this day and age, there is only one living character on that show, and it is Eleanor Donahue. She was Andy's original girlfriend in 1960. Now, see, you think about this. When we get to Helen Crump, the teacher, she was the 3rd girlfriend. We were having a hard time replacing Mrs. Taylor, Opie's mom, who never made an appearance on the show because she had already passed. But Eleanor Donahue, Miss Ellie, the pharmacist, was his original girlfriend. They did not feel that they had chemistry on camera. And that's why she went away and eventually came in the rich girlfriend in seasons 2 and into part of season 3. And Helen Crump did not make her appearance until the end of season 3. And then she finished off the show with Andy Griffith. In 2003, Jason, the country band Rascal Flatts released the song Mayberry, and many of the lyrics paid tribute to the show. But you did not know that.
I did not know that.
American grunge band Nirvana referenced multiple characters for the show, including Floyd the Barber, Barney, Opie, Andy, and Aunt Bee. Canadian rapper and singer Drake referenced the show's theme song in his 2009 track, Best I Ever Had. How about that? The Taylor Home Inn in Clear Lake, Wisconsin is a bed and breakfast modeled after the Taylor home. The Mayberry Cafe in Danville, Indiana features Aunt Bee's fried chicken as a replica and has a replica of Andy's Ford Galaxy police car. Just some things that you need to consider whenever you're out traveling this beautiful country and this great world and thinking about the Andy Griffith Show. If it is almost un-American, Jason, if we as parents and grandparents have not introduced our grandchildren and children to the Andy Griffith Show. It's almost like apple pie. Matter of fact, it is. Just want you to know. And if your child does not know about Andy Griffith, Jason, you need to let me know. I'm going to have her come over and spend the weekend with me, and we're going to watch Andy Griffith reruns.
She knows about it, but she has still yet to see an episode.
Oh, that's discouraging, disappointing. For those of you who would like to be our future audio engineer, you can send your applications to info@mx3.vip.
I'll edit that out. Don't worry.
All right. Thank you, Andy Griffith. And like I say, plays a large role in my life. Love the show. It's always there when there's nothing else on TV. And I don't care how many channels you have. There are days you can't find anything to watch. That's the day Andy Griffith pops into my world. The worst food chains in America, according to a new study by Megan Scholegger, came out about a week ago. She says you might not consider reviews for a drive-through spot meal the same as you would a sit-down restaurant, but maybe you should. Savings website Coupon Birds poured over 160,000 Google reviews of restaurant chains to find out which is actually the worst and which is the best. And America has spoken. And you're going to get to hear it live right here on Money, Motivation, and Mike. The website looked at reviews, to be exact, 161,054 individual restaurants of Google Maps to make a fair analysis of the best and worst. All the spots had at least 4 or more locations per the definition of a chain. The average Google rating was recorded for each individual location. The number of reviews was also recorded for each individual location, the company explained. The location had the highest volume of reviews, McDonald's in Florida, with a total of 23,074 reviews at the time of the collection of the data, which was just the summer in July. Now, I'm going to go ahead and give our listening audience the worst chain, according to this study, in the United States of America, because I'd never heard of it. Taco John's. Ever heard of Taco John's?
I have not.
They're the worst food chain in the United States of America, according to this particular survey by Megan Schultegger. I think I said Legger a while ago. It's Tegger. Tegger at the end. Number 2, worst food chain in America. Jason, feel free.
You got all the yum food brands.
Well,
Taco Bell, KFC, isn't that right?
yes, sir. The worst food chain.
I'm going to say Long John Silver's.
Long John Silver's is not on the list. Don't we talk about Long John Silver's now? The second worst food chain in the America is McDonald's. Bobby's Burgers by Bobby Flay is number 3. Never seen one of those. Now, I have seen a Wahlburgers, which comes in at 4. Popeye's Chicken is 5. Sonic is 6. Worst food chains in the U.S. I've already given the credit to the individuals who didn't. And remember, this is not opinions.
Mm-hmm.
These are all reviews. It went online. I mean, is 160,000 reviews on Google enough for an opinion? I guess at the end of the day, it's still opinion. Because we could go get 200,000 people that would probably say McDonald's is the best restaurant in the world. And I know if we polled kindergartners and below, who would win that battle?
Yeah.
Ain't nothing like the Happy Meal, man. Best invention in the history of restaurant entrepreneurs.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Popeyes 5, Sonic 6, Buffalo Wild Wings is 7th worst. South Philly cheesesteaks and fries is 8. Now, I can't even say this word. Bucafuro Family McDonald's. Now, I don't know if that's a chain of that's an offspring of McDonald's, or they are they the franchisee of. I don't know, but they're number 9. Wetzel Pretzels, number 10. Yeah, there you go. So for all of those who are discouraged by the fact that they hit these on a daily basis, there's your worst one. They had these rankings from 1 to 5, and the worst ranking was Taco John's at 2.61. McDonald's was 2.75.
I just want to know how you mess up a pretzel.
I don't know.
I mean, if that's your primary business.
Is it kind of like messing up a salad? Okay, let's go over to the best food chains in the United States of America. What do you think number 1 is right now?
Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A is number 1.
Yeah.
On a rating of 5, they come in at 3.95. Must have been some harsh criticism out there. Nobody got into the 4s. Number 2 is Five Guys.
That surprises me a little bit.
You a Five Guyser?
I mean, just the fact that it's that far up there.
Number 2.
Yeah.
Jersey Mike Subs is 3. Now, this one, we're probably going to get some phone calls on this one.
Oh.
This one blows me away. The 4th best food chain in the United States of America is Waffle House.
When I think of Waffle House, I think of cigarette smoke, and because it takes me back to some days. I haven't been in a Waffle House in a long time.
I'm getting a headache thinking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm with you all the way. 4th best chain in the United States of America, Waffle House.
Yeah.
Starbucks is 5.
Okay.
Dairy Queen is 6. The Texas stop sign, as some people refer to it.
Yeah.
Arby's is 7.
I don't mind some Arby's.
Panera Bread is 8.
Okay.
All right. Now, interesting. I did not know this. There are 2 chains. You got Dairy Queen, and did you have Dairy Queen Grill and Chill?
Never heard of it.
Well, they're 8.
There's one other Texas staple that's not been named so far. I'm curious if it's in there.
Well, let me finish this, and you can bring it up.
Okay.
Number 9 is IHOP. Okay, Waffle House, I think of that as breakfast.
Yeah.
Starbucks, I think of that as breakfast. IHOP, I think of that as breakfast. And frankly, I think of Panera Bread as breakfast because they got a lot of Danish and stuff in there. I know they have afternoon sandwiches, but to me, there's quite a bit of breakfast on this top 10 list. Number 9, IHOP, and number 10, Carl Jr.'s.
Nope.
Who was you saying that is not on here that you thought would be?
What a burger.
What a burger. Okay. I'm going to say that they could be a mid-sized chain. You know, this is everybody. Because the list does come back, and I'm going to give this one the best mid-sized chains. Now, these particular restaurants, these particular chains were a part of the full best and worst list. They could have fit on either one. But then they went down scale and did mid-sized chains. All right? The number 1 mid-sized chain. Any idea? In-N-Out Burger.
Okay. Can't argue with that one.
Dave's Hot Chicken comes in at 2. Number 3 was the Chicken Salad Chick.
I've never heard of it.
Yep. Number 4, Rita's Italian Ice and Frozen Custard. 5, Skyline Chili. 6, Mod Pizza. 7, First Watch. Now I want you to give me your thoughts on number 8. Jason's Deli.
No, I've never ate at Jason's Deli.
I thought you had ownership in it. Are they using your name, your like, and your kindness on this deal?
Yeah, I got my name trademarked.
You need to start collecting some checks.
I need to call my lawyer.
I don't know why Jason's Deli is not a sponsor on this show. Number 9, mid-sized chain, Olive Garden. And number 10, the Wisconsin-based Culver's. Eating a lot of Culver's.
Like me some Culver's.
The baseball team wanted to go to Culver's after every practice. There's your mid-sized chains. So, moving right along. Taco John's. I have never seen a Taco John's.
You know that.
Number 2 being the McDonald's. Big on that list. And then coming over here at the Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A's got it figured out.
They do.
I mean, they cook that food and they get it in them cars faster than... It's incredible. It really is incredible.
My understanding is those, the owners of each restaurant are previous employees.
They promote within, huh?
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like a good deal.
They got something figured out.
I can tell you some Chick-fil-A locations that are bringing down that process speed. It's incredible. But hey, all right. Money Motivation Mike continues to bring you interesting topics such as Andy Griffith. Well, these last 2 weeks have been just so enjoyable for me. Getting to talk about the Opie Taylors of the world. As a matter of fact, I had another topic here that I wanted to get into here on Monday Motivation Mike. And we're going to start next week with this particular 6 things that I avoid as a heart surgeon for my own heart health. Big topic for you, people like you and me, Jason. But we're going to be bringing that to you next week. Source of today. And the doctor is Dr. Jeremy London. He's board-certified cardiovascular surgeon who operates on damaged blood vessels and performs bypass surgery. He's going to be our first conversation this next coming week here on Money Motivation and Mike. As always, you can contact us at info@mx3.vip and find all of our content at mx3.vip on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@mx3podcast. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to get notified of all of our new content, which comes out every Monday morning around 9 o'clock. So until next time, for everyone, including the Taylors, who have been a part of this show, continue to live your life the right way.